Right. Hello everyone. So today we're going to actually continue the part two of the video I made, how to actually determine your daily bias. I'm going to go in depth on it today, and I think I found a perfect example on euro pound, and I think that will be the place where I'm going to look at this from. Right. So so on euro pound, when you go to the 4 hour time frame, we are going to talk about how you're actually going to use to determine your daily bias. So assuming you're on the daily bias and you want to check your, please, there is one thing I want you to understand. Always make sure to look for the trend, right? The break of structures. Forget about the left for at the meantime. Like, let me see, for the meantime. So you have your break of structure from here, and the next thing you're looking for is your POI, right? So I have a break of structure found here, and I'm looking for my POI. So your POI is going to be found, let's say here, or let's just pick this as a POI because that was what actually broke structure before um price return back, and you see it respected it nicely. And if you are on the lower time frame like 15 minutes, you probably hit this because this and order block will be your tap point, right? Though nonetheless you can still see we have other miscreant right there. So now when you go to the next, let me just play this backward for you to see something. So let's assume we are actually here, right? Let's assume we are actually here, and we have our break of structure. Right now, we are going to determine how to, get out the break of structure. So you're on the 4 hour. You come to the lower time frame, or you come to the 4 hour, you have your break of structure. It has been determined. The next thing you're looking for is your point of interest. So to me, I will mark this whole thing as my point of interest because there is no imbalance that I'll actually looking for. And the most important point of interest I will definitely look out for and I will never ignore is the one that actually broke structure, which is this particular buy to sell movement right here. So you just mark the whole thing. You can press control and it will map it up like a magnet. Press control and hold. Then you move your cursor around. Um, this used not to happen to me. When you guys used to it, it's very easy. And this will be my POI. So if price reaches to this particular point, and after this bullish candle, let's add another place. Let me add this place to it. Okay, so I'm adding another one. Good. So yeah, so right now when you go to the 15-minute time frame, let's just see 1 hour because I don't want price to tell me that I can't, push it backward. So when you come to the 1 hour, you can see when I'm going to refine this particular buy to sell candle right here, I'm going to get a very nice entry. So my order block is this particular one, the last up move candle before the down move for a sell opportunity. This will be my order block. So let's say this is your order block. My entry is going to basically be here. I am taking 1 hour entries these days, so don't have issues with that. And my TP probably will be, let me say, the first loop. It doesn't matter, right? Just target something small. If you get stopped out, that is it. So now it goes in, it taps you into the trade, it moves a little bit, and you hit TP, you are done. Your first low is done, you are cleared, right? So although price sometimes goes back, the reason why price will go back on this particular one is because when you also look at how price was moving, that is your POI, that is right. But you have forgotten that the price also has its own POI right here, its own break of structure right here. Let's just mark them up. And this one too has its own POI right there, right? So now the question is, which POI has actually broken structure, right? So you also look at it down here. You look at, for me, I'll look at this as liquidity, right? So if this is liquidity, then which one are we going to look out for our um which one are we going to look out for our next entry? You see, most cases you are not always going to get everything your way. So the better way I'll tell you to look out for is just um watch out for this particular one right there. That is what I'll call out for. But why not mark from the last down move candle before the up move actually be my order block, right? You can add a wick, but for me that is what I'm going to stick with at the meantime, right? So and let's go, let's see. So price likely might not return or even might return to that place. That is your POI. So meaning price has taken liquidity, has tapped into this imbalance and has taken off. So you have secured your trade and another opportunity is already there for you, right? So this one also a trend strategy, break of structure, point of interest right there. We're not going to do any guessing game. We're just going to follow what we think price would have tapped into. And you can see price tapped into it perfectly. So this is where things get a little bit trickier. So when you see something like this, now to me, I will go on the lower time frames to look for other opportunities. But since it is 1 hour, I'll suggest that you now look for a candlestick formation. So let's see. So where price has broken this, and I'll now map this as my new order block, right? Just like this. And I'm now waiting to see how um price is going to, you know, come back there. And my entry is just going to be on the order block. Stop loss just above this particular place right here. This is going to be my stop loss from here. Because already we can see we have taken liquidity and this one also so liquidity went up. So the next target you should be looking out for can be your next low because you have tapped there 2 times and you shouldn't be expecting any more taps on it again. So I will hold this as my low, right? So 1 to 6, just right there. It is 1 hour candle. There's no issues with that, right? So just know what you're looking at for. So you can see price went back, right? Let me go back and you see it was only one candle that we were seeing as the momentum. It broke very strongly, right? So let's see what happened. Okay, I took that same trade on GU today on the 1 minute time frame. So right now, so just look at it there. So um, when I play it one candle, it taps into it so nicely. You are inside a trade, then it takes you in with it. So in this case, you see that look at how price has given this a very huge gap. So if it is me, I'm going to lock profit from here and then wait to see what is going to happen. Basically, this was the open of the market, so you shouldn't be expecting to see you see this is Friday, then this is Monday, sorry, Sunday. Okay, so the gap has given this. So definitely I wouldn't have been taking a trade like this, but for example's sake, let's just look at it. My honesty sake, I wouldn't have been taking a trade like this. So the likelihood of price going back to tap into it is very high. That is the order block. Even if you have not gotten here, you can wait for this one. So why has price gone back? Went back because it has still not fulfilled its what do you call it? Its order block completely. So maybe because of the gap, yes, mostly because of the gap, price has to go back to fill every gap. Price doesn't leave gaps behind, just so you know, right? So price gives us a change of character. That's at the bottom. And now we are in what? We are in a change of character block. So you can always decide on one thing. After this change of character block comes in, you can decide on one thing. You can decide that let me quit my trade. Let's say it was Friday, you took the trade, and then price got to this place before market closed, you closed your profits around here. Huh? So after closing your profits, you're waiting for the next opportunity. The OB is still valid. Bear it in mind, the OB is still valid. Because when you go to the 2 hour time frame, you are not going to see this move. Okay, you're going to see one whole candle with an imbalance. While the OB is still good, you can now take your trade from here. Or if you want, let's say on Monday you didn't take any trade. To be realistic, let's wait. OB has been tapped, very well respected. It's never going to break above this. If it breaks above this, it becomes what? Invalid. But we want something that would not break above it. Okay. So you see price goes very nicely. So what we now want is a break of this particular structure. If we see a break of this structure, we look for another opportunity. So here is my high, yeah, sorry, my low, my break of structure. Um, I'm looking for a break of structure here. So you should see a break of structure. If we see a break of structure, then we are going to take that trade. Okay, so let's see what happens. All right, so you can see this break of structure happened nicely. You get that. Now, I would suggest you take your OB, take this as your OB because you can see it from some kind of type M pattern, and you have your OB right there. Your entry can just be that same place. Stop loss 30 pips is not something bad. Okay, 30 pips is not bad. So 30 pips here, you target the low. That's 1:3. You don't look, you need consistency. You don't need to see price doing all those kinds of things that you want to believe. So in this one, in this case, I would say price has actually missed our entry. Although we have taken two-step confirmation, that is one from here, which is a change of character. We have come here, which is, but nonetheless, if you're on the 1 hour, you are supposed to follow the trend. So let's say this one was actually not what you're looking for. So always make sure you're following this particular trend. If this trend start giving you break of structures, I would suggest you follow that one. Don't look for liquidity anymore because the liquidity was found around this area. Now the trend is forming and is going its way. Okay, you look for liquidity when price does something like this. Let's say price goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, break structure, goes up, break structure, and it starts roaming around this place. Okay, that is why you'll be like, okay, fine, liquidity is going to form here. By the moment it breaks structure, don't expect to see the liquidity being swept automatically because sometimes it might go for a very long time before it comes out to sweep the liquidity. But if it is still here, be expecting a move back into this particular zone as liquidity, then you see this type of moves happens into the market. So in this case, I can say price might or can go back, but I can also say price can still ignore this kind of things. So that is basically how you determine your daily bias. You don't need to always complicate things, just as I mentioned. You can always look forward to seeing what is actually realistic. A lot of things in this forex market doesn't actually look like it is. Okay, so in most cases, so all right. So now you can see on the 4 hour. Let's say on the 4 hour was what you are looking out for. So you can see on the 4 hour we have this break. Now this break should be encouraging you to take another trade. So I'm going to take the last um, up move kind of for the down move, but I'm going to mark it with this hammer right here. So let's put it there. Now let's take this out. This one was not respected. So let's roll it out with this one. Okay. And we expect a move to the downside, right? So let's see what happens with this particular move. We are trying to see what as to whether price is basically going to what tap into this one and respect our OB as mentioned. So if we're basically marking this, let's just go and see. Okay. Now we are tapped into the trade and price rallies all its way to the downside. That is always what is going to happen. That is always going to be the case. So okay, I think we are done. So yeah, that is always going to be the case. So in this case, I'm going to be looking out for a liquidity sweep on this. I didn't even realize I've reached current price. So I'll be looking for a liquidity sweep on this on pound, euro, pound on this particular one. So please make sure to check it out and see you in my next video.